I think a blue Goku, that's another S tier pick that we'll go over. We can put him up now. Blue Goku's definitely an S tier pick for this. He's good for a few reasons. A few reasons that we can go over as he's coming up on screen. He has the SKD move that we're speaking about. He also has pressure. And this is mostly talking about if you decide to use Piccolo A. I've been experimenting with Piccolo B only because there's a belief that like the assist has fallen off. So I wanted to test it myself by using different assists. So I've been using Piccolo B, and it's not the worst. It feels very not Piccolo A, if that makes sense. Piccolo A is it's a very polarizing assist when it's in a matchup that it's good for, because it controls the screen in a very unique way. It's just a homing orb that's very slow to you, but it's Ki Blast property, which means it can be destroyed by other things or things that are stronger than Ki Blast, right? So that's like where the big issue comes in with it. So I believe if you want to continue using Piccolo A, and I'm gonna make another video talking about Piccolo A in season 4 anyway. So I don't want to harp on this too much, but I believe the closer you call Piccolo A, the better. I think we need to start to take more of an advantage of the fact that there are 2 orbs there, because normally when you're calling Piccolo A in neutral, like full screen or something like that, only the first orb is the one you truly have to worry about. You're not worried about the second orb unless you're trying to force your way in. If you're trying to force your way in, the second orb can punish you, and that was like a big plus side. Like they can't like vanish or something. Somebody like Ginyu who likes to use a force member and then vanish right away to knock you into them, that strategy loses without you looking for it, and it's very easy to hit confirm because you get like 60 plus frames in order of hit stun after the A assist pops or the orb pops on somebody. So it's really good at meeting people, at catching people who are waking up into it or sitting in it, because it either, if they're already committed when they're sitting in it, like something like vanish, they get popped, and if not, you know, it's just I'm starting to think the pressure is going to be the way that this assist is used in the future, which is why Oki is what I have as like the top value thing, because if that pressure situation doesn't come up and you just get a hit randomly in neutral, being able to convert into this situation on screen is really good. The big thing for pressure, you typically command grabbers are really good with Piccolo A, since it's Ki Blast property, right? So we're trying to turn the fact that it's Ki Blast property into a strength instead of a weakness. I'll just take it off of everything for the moment. So that's the reason why Goku Blue is S tier synergy for pressure and for Oki. He's S tier synergy for Oki just because he knocks them down and has the orb set up at all. Just having the orb, being able to guarantee that orb setup at all, puts you, in my opinion, in the S tier for Oki. If you have a command grab that is combo friendly with orb, that's also something that's S tier for pressure. And I say combo friendly because there are some examples, like Broly's command grab knocks you down, so you're not getting like a combo, you're not getting anything else, you're only getting the fact that you threw them. So that, I wouldn't give Broly S tier pressure with Piccolo A. And again, like after you knock them all the way, you're not able to really get a combo there. So at that point, you might as well just use the EX yourself and just combo yourself, you know what I mean? But the fact that Goku is doing this meterlessly is quite frankly insane. Yeah, he gets full combo. He gets full combo from getting a command grab off of the orb, which you create a hit throw 50-50. So if they try to jump the pressure, you get to set up a 2M. You can also do it off of tick throw. And Goku Blue has 3 different tick throws he can do. So he can tick throw you from his 2M and from his 5H as well. It's a little harder to do. But this is crazy because he can also do it from his light, from the low. And if we set our opponent to reflect. That's a anti-reflect string, the whole thing. So this becomes like the way you start pressuring people with Piccolo A after calling it, because not only is it a reflect proof string, that was a little sloppy. Not only is it a reflect proof string, you're still creating, you're still able to throw them all 3 times, and it can lead into full combo if your timing is correct with the orb. The pressure, Oki, and what else? Those are the biggest things. So yes, anybody that has good pressure with Piccolo A, good Oki, those are going to be the biggest things. I would put 21 up here. She doesn't have the Oki. You can always just knock them down and call Piccolo A. There are times that like you have to be in the corner in order to get this set up. You can if you're not in the corner, it's still fine. You still get 2 chances, right? When it's meaty, when an orb is meaty on you like that, they're waking up into it. This time you have to like meaty them yourself, but you're still getting a lot of good pressure from it. It's just better to have both options available. You know what I mean? Like I would rather be able to pick which one I would like to do, because sometimes meeting the character with the orb is going to be better than trying to pressure them and do all 3, because some people have really good anti-reflect strings that are beating Ki Blast and such too. So it might be better just to meeting them with the orb and then try to make that scenario work out for you, instead of trying to like make like some type of mix-up or something like that off of the Piccolo A assist. But I mean, Piccolo B does exist. The biggest thing about Piccolo A is that it's a Ki Blast property, so you can't do this. But with Piccolo B, you can. And because of the way it hits the mid-screen, you can do it mid-screen as well. So that's good. That's good. It is something, it is an assist you can use. And I honestly feel like if you still want to use Piccolo, but you don't have good Piccolo A synergy, just use Piccolo B. And it sounds rough. Piccolo B isn't the best, but it actually goes pretty far. It goes about 3/4 of the screen, so you need to be a bit more precise when you're using it, but it does beat Ki Blast. It's the same property as Piccolo's on the ground, and this beats Ki Blast, but it loses the beams. So if you have let's bring out Super Saiyan Goku. Here goes. So it beats Ki Blast, but it loses the beam. But on the plus side, it gels into Vanish. So as you can see, mediums don't gel into Vanish, but the Shocker does. So it's basically a beam. I used to think it was like, I used to not like Shocker, but recently it's been making more sense on how to properly use it. You're supposed to be using it to beat Ki Blast and call out people doing nothing to create plus frames. That's like the true intention of the move. Like it's a faster beam, so you need to use it like a faster beam. You can use it more preemptively than you can use a beam. So it actually has pretty good coverage because it's able to gel and advantage like that. And ever since they made this Shocker anti-air, I thought it was a weird thing, but it buffs that preemptive style, because this was kind of hard to use in the past. But now that it's anti-air, you feel a bit better throwing it out more freely. So that's the whole idea of the Shocker. And the same thing applies anytime you're running it like on point. So yes, you can call out the beams, and you see how it's faster. So the great thing about Piccolo B is that when Piccolo uses Shocker, it's very committal, and it's kind of hard to like keep yourself safe and use it. You are making a commitment. But when you're using a B assist, if you're used to playing Piccolo and you know the ranges of Shocker, now you get to use Shocker safely. What's wild about this, it still gels into Manage. but like all assists basically. Any type of beam assist will do this. But it is something to keep note of. Like I didn't think about it until I was like looking for other things. I think it's good. I think it's something definitely to keep in mind. And again, if your character can't use Piccolo A, don't force it. Like I was trying to use Piccolo A with Gotenks, and it's possible. But because his buttons are so stubby, it's become very hard. It feels like I need to outplay the opponent on offense sometimes. And I would rather just have them respect the plus frames, charge up heavy, get my guaranteed super dash mix, but you can't do that with Piccolo A. So I was practicing him with Piccolo B. And it was working out. It was working out great because, like, now, if you want neutral, Piccolo has an assist for that. If you want pressure, he has an assist for that. So his assists are pretty versatile, but they're both kind of mediocre in that sense. But, I mean, there's just proper ways of using them. And they're not as versatile, right? They're not as pound for pound. You can use it in every single situation. Piccolo A is closer to that than Piccolo B ever will be. But, again, don't try to force this synergy. Just let it try to flow out naturally. The reason why 21 is ridiculous though, because just like she's not comboing off of her grab, she can. It's kind of difficult to combo off of her normal throw, but she has the debuff. So if you're in 6 lows, if you're sitting here conditioning your opponent all day with all these lows, and then you call Piccolo A, when you throw them, you're debuffing them. You could argue that her hit throw is stronger than Goku Blue's because of that reason. And honestly, I can't say much. So in the pressure department, she's definitely S. Just because of the fact that she has debuff, she has arguably the strongest grab in the game. So it's weird. It's like because her grab is so strong, she doesn't have like the same Oki available as Piccolo combos. Combos is what I was forgetting. But her combos with Piccolo A is fine. If you have a JH at all that knocks downwards, the same thing that is required for the Oki, your combos with Piccolo A will always be fine. Especially if you have a knockdown move and a JH that knocks downwards, you can bounce them off of Piccolo A all day and get more. You're basically spending 2 assists for the price of 1, and that's where Piccolo A really shines. It shines in combos, it shines in pressure if you have good grabs, and it shines in Oki. But you're going to see a correlation with a lot of grapplers being in the S tier because they have the pressure with the grab. You can always do Dragon Rush as well. Dragon Rush is always on the table, but Dragon Rush doesn't give you a grounded combo the same way that Goku Blues does. So I would just keep stuff like that in mind. Neutral is another point, but this has been severely crippled when we're talking about top tiers because of Vegeta A. It's harder to push Piccolo A in neutral because Vegeta A exists, which is why I'm starting to believe you need to be using it in pressure, and you want to be using it when you're closer to the opponent. And it's no coincidence that all 3 of these points are when you're closer to the opponent using Piccolo A, and neutral is on the bottom. Because I think it's important, but I think it's less important overall now than what it used to be. Obviously, if they called their Vegeta A before you call Piccolo A, you're officially playing Piccolo A before Vegeta A was in the game. So go off, because I mean that's your time. But the fact that you're now waiting on somebody else, I think since that's becoming our layer 1 is waiting on Vegeta A, we need to be pressuring people first and making sure we have strong pressure, strong Oki, and strong combos for when we get a hit. If that situation doesn't come up, now we can call Piccolo A. I just think it's weaker to have calling Piccolo A in neutral being your layer 1 for the assist, because you're gonna run into problems. Being able to utilize the assists on all avenues, I think truly shows the difference in synergy between character to character. When we're talking about 21, her combos with Piccolo A are pretty good. I would even say in some cases better than Goku Blues, purely because her knockdown moves knocks them straight down. There are plenty of times that I'm like struggling to call Piccolo A in a mid-screen combo with Goku Blue, and 21 just straight up doesn't have that problem. She knocks you down to the orb, she knocks you down again into the second orb, she continues along. Like it's not common to have that kind of synergy with him. So her combo game, I would say, is S tier. I would say her pressure game, you could argue is S tier. Her Oki, you can say is like A, because she can do light spin on Oki and then try to like gel that into Piccolo and then try to do some type of mix-up after. She's still threatening the grab the whole time. So I would say she's like solid number 2 for pressure. Honestly, I would feel more comfortable putting Majin Buu probably around A, maybe even B. I really value being able to knock them back down into the Oki, having like some type of really just grabs, like grabs that either combo from Piccolo A or pressure that can utilize Piccolo A, like left rights and stuff. If you have strong left rights, it doesn't really matter what assist you're calling if you're gaining that respect anyway. And then combos, it's just how combo friendly are you with Piccolo A, and some things are more obvious than others, but mid screen and corner are like the two biggest things. Those are the two areas that you can combo, right? So I would definitely look at that. In that case, base Vegeta, I want to say, is a pretty solid S tier pick as well. He doesn't have a grab, but what he is offering is a 50-50 off of the Piccolo A call as well. Similar to how Gogeta, where's Gogeta Blue? How Gogeta Blue utilizes Vegeta A in his 50-50. It's very similar when you're talking about base Vegeta as well. He has the knockdown move. He has the knee in order to knock them down into the pressure. His pressure, he doesn't have the grab, but he has 50-50s. And for combos, he has the JH, so he can knock you down into the orb, and because he has the Oki move as well, his combos will be good with Piccolo A. If you're checking off the Oki blocks your combo game, I'm not really worried about it, but obviously there are caveats like having, 21. Honestly, you can argue that these characters, they can fight for this second spot pretty handily, just because it really comes down to what are you valuing more, because again, he does have something here, and 21, he does have check this box off as well. 21 kind of doesn't really check off this box, the Oki box, so it can become a little tough. We can start bringing up some examples of this as well. I think base Goku's good. He straight up throws you into the orb. Gogeta's good as well because he's getting like the level ups from it. He's throwing you into the orb. He has the JH. He can do the same setup as Goku Blue. So you can argue that like he's somewhere around here. The top three, this can kind of be in any order. I really want to say that like Blue Goku's top 1 for S tier, and honestly I want to say that Gogeta's number 2, and then you can say like which one you want out of these two. Base Goku is pretty good as well, but like that's where it starts to get hard. These guys are all in the same tier, so you can kind of put them wherever. But Goku has the knockdown move, he has the JH, so his combos are going to be fine. His Oki's going to be fine. His pressure, he has a throw, so yeah, his pressure's good too. And that, again, that's really just what you're looking for. You're like, do they have a normal JH for combos? Do they have a fast SKD move? So he has his J2M. Do they have like some sort of grab to throw them into the second orb, or to 50-50 them using the second orb, using the first orb or the second orb, and then neutral is less, but you really just want to have like a beam or something like that, so if they try to disrespect Piccolo A, sometimes you can hit them with a beam because they'll try to preemptively super dash and then get pressure, or even a combo from the orb popping. Roshi, he definitely has the JH. The beam gives him Hell Zone. You could use Roshi B with Piccolo as well. It's not a bad idea. I think Roshi B also gives Hell Zone. It's just hard. It's just hard to do. But I think it does, I believe, like the first hit or the second hit, one of those. I think you want to do it with the first hit if memory serves, and do the synergy. Janemba's pretty good, but it's mostly because of his level 1. He can set up the double orb. His level 1 is really good for them though, because Janemba just straight up puts you guys in the corner, so his combos with those guys, as long as there's like some meter. He does have a grab, so you can do that. I think it bounces you to... Oh, Blue Vegeta, he has amazing synergy with these guys, because he can actually knock you down. He can use his grab like multiple times. Yeah, he's pretty crazy. How crazy? Yeah, I mean, he has a 50-50, probably around here. You can low-key argue that his synergy is better base Vegeta's, but I don't know. I think that's a bit too controversial to like drop like that. But no, he's covering a lot of the boxes. Janemba covers a lot of the boxes, and he stays close on you. Janemba like teleports down wherever he's at, so it's only like really in the corner that you're getting that synergy. He's setting up. He's giving them Dragon Rush and all that too. He's not. Yep, that's good enough for now.
We're never done learning. It's never over.